Wow, that was fantastic. Amazing. I am ready. I would like to start my morning like that every morning. Good morning, guys. My name is Paris Borels. I am an actress. I'm a writer. I have lived in Los Angeles for 13 years. But some of the work that matters the most to me is showing up for causes that protect people and restore dignity and wellness, and I'm truly honored to be your MC for the 2026 Annual Walk for Freedom. Welcome to Los Angeles, and welcome to all of you who showed up today ready to move, to learn, and to stand for freedom. Quick check, if you guys have walked with us before, raise your hand. All right, hello, welcome back. And if this is your first Walk for Freedom, let me see you. It's my first time too. We're so happy that you guys are here. Thank you guys so much. And let's give a huge thank you to Blessed Sacrament for hosting us once again. We'd like to extend a special welcome to our elected leaders and their teams, including Supervisor Lindsay P. Horvath of LA County District 3, Annabelle Martinez, representing Supervisor Hilda L. Solis of District 1, as well as our incredible community partners, advocates, survivor leaders, volunteers, and supporters. And to everyone joining us virtually from around the world, thank you so much. Your presence here today strengthens this movement and reminds us that we do this work together. In years past, we've walked together for freedom, and today is no different. But this year, we walk with deeper intention. Over the last year, our communities, especially immigrant and BIPOC communities, have carried disproportionate harm. We have felt the weight of policies rooted in punishment rather than care, of systems that too often criminalize survival rather than invest in well-being. And still, we are here. Today, we are a community in motion, moving towards wellness, dignity, and hope. We walk to affirm that healing is possible, that care is right, and that our collective power lives in how we show up for one another. This walk is both a declaration and commitment that we will continue to choose people over punishment, community over isolation, and healing over harm. Up next is Melanie Martinez, our student co-MC, who will lead us in a land acknowledgement, followed by a centering from our Youth Voices Collaborative. Then we'll hear powerful voices calling us forward to prevent exploitation, support survivors, and build justice through community care. Let's get started.
We would like to take a moment to acknowledge this land physically, situated in the original ancestral homelands of the Fernandeño Tataviam bands of Mission Indians, Gabrielino Tongva Indians of California Tribal Council, Gabrielino Tongva San Gabriel Band of Mission Indians, Gabrielino Band of Mission Indians, Quiche Nation, San Manuel Band of Mission Indians, San Fernando Band of Mission Indians. We pay respect to these and all Indigenous people, past, present, and future, and their continuing presence in the homeland and throughout their historical diaspora. We also pay homage to those who were stolen from Africa, placed in bondage, falsely named as chattel, and forced into labor, who were called slaves but never submitted to such, and have always been fully human. With an unbroken connection to the divine and to each other, we honor our African ancestors for the still unpaid labor which built what is now the Americas. To our Indigenous and African forebears, we commit to the continued struggle for liberation and reparation, for it is only through freedom and justice that we truly give honor. Thank you. It is an honor to be a part of this event, standing with you all today against human trafficking. My name is Melanie Martinez, and I am a youth organizer from Los Angeles and a student at Ramona Convent Secondary School. I am deeply involved with LA Voice, where I advocate for migration reform and community-centered policy change. Today's annual event is organized by the Southern California Partners of Global Justice. The so-called Partners is a coalition of international agencies, religious congregations, and organizations who support each other to address issues of global injustice. The coalition collaborates and networks with efforts to educate, advocate, and act to change situations that deny the human rights and dignity of all people. If you would like to know more about our partners organization, you can find them on Facebook or Instagram at SoCal Partners for Global Justice. Thank you. Today, we gather to form a compass of solidarity, guiding our hearts as a community in motion, walking together for freedom, dignity, and hope. We come from many backgrounds, beliefs, and experiences united by a shared commitment to care for one another to end human trafficking and exploitation. We hold space for those who have been harmed and join our tears with all those whose freedom has been exploited. Their lives, stories, and futures matter. May we listen deeply, act with courage, and move together toward justice. We are community in motion. We walk for freedom, dignity, and hope.
O wisdom of the South, the energy of fire, remind us of courage, passion, and the strength to act. Warm all hurting spirits and ignite our determination to stand with all who are affected by trafficking and exploitation. Be with us as we listen to their cries and act for justice. We are a community in motion. We walk for freedom, dignity, and hope.
O wisdom of the East, the movement of air, remind us of breath, voice, and the power of awareness. May all who have been silenced find space with your rising sun to breathe in and out again, and may we listen deeply and speak out when it matters most. Be with us as we listen to their cries and act for justice.
O wisdom of the North, the strength of earth, remind us of grounding, resilience, and stability. May those who have endured harsh and unjust conditions move beyond what is cold and harsh in life. May there be safety, healing, and solid ground beneath our feet. Be with us as we listen to their cries and act for justice. We are a community in motion. We walk for freedom, dignity, and hope.
O wisdom of the West, the flow of water, refresh us with the waterfalls to heal the hurts. Remind us of healing, renewal, and movement. May compassion flow through our communities, restoring what has been harmed and carrying hope forward. Be with us as we listen to their cries and act for justice. We are a community in motion. We walk for freedom, dignity, and hope.
We now hold space for shared intentions that reflect our commitment to learning, prevention, and collective care. After each intention, join us in our response. We are a community in motion. We walk for freedom, dignity, and hope.
For the millions of people worldwide impacted by trafficking, commercial sex, forced labor, and forced marriage, and for systems of care that recognize trafficking as a preventable harm, not an isolated or inevitable crime. We are a community in motion. We walk for freedom, dignity, and hope.
For children and youth whose safety, laughter, and belonging have been disrupted by violence and war, coercion, and neglect, and for early intervention, trusted relationships, and communities that protect before harm occurs. We are a community in motion. We walk for freedom, dignity, and hope.
For education, awareness, and public health efforts that address root causes, including inequality, status, trauma, demand, and limited access to resources. We are a community in motion. We walk for freedom.
For youth who are unhoused, runaway, and foster youth who face heightened risk of exploitation, and for coordinated community responses that prioritize safety, stability, and long-term well-being. We are a community in motion. We walk for freedom.
For survivors, advocates, service providers, healthcare workers, educators, lawmakers, and organizers, and for collaboration across sectors that strengthen prevention, protection, and pathways to healing. We are a community in motion. We walk for freedom, dignity, and hope.
For all who are currently experiencing the force, fraud, or coercion of human trafficking, and for those healing from past exploitation through dignity, opportunity, and care. We are a community in motion. We walk for freedom, dignity, and hope.
For a public health approach to ending human trafficking, one that listens to lived experience, reduces harm, strengthens prevention, and shares responsibility across communities. We are a community in motion. We walk for freedom, dignity, and hope.
Please stand if you're able. Lift your hands and form a heart. Take a deep breath, breathing in gratitude for those working to end human trafficking. Breathing out, hoping for a picturing of a future where exploitation and human trafficking will no longer be a reality.
Together, we center our hearts in shared humanity and shared responsibility. We center ourselves so that justice, peace, compassion, freedom, and mercy may overflow in our hearts and in our actions. May our steps today reflect our commitment to freedom, dignity, and hope. May our movement strengthen our community, inspire action, and carry this work beyond today.
All right, that was beautiful. Thank you, guys. Another round of applause for everyone. Yeah, come on. I also want to start my morning like that every morning. Thank you, guys, for leading us in that powerful moment. And with that grounding, we now shift into action. Learning how a community-centered public health approach helps prevent exploitation, support survivors, and build lasting justice. It is truly an honor to introduce someone whose leadership has transformed the way we understand and respond to human trafficking. Kay Buck is the CEO of the Coalition to Abolish Slavery and Trafficking, and for over 20 years, she has been a nationally recognized leader in the movement to end trafficking. Her work has helped shift the conversation away from punishment and toward care. Under her leadership, CAST has advanced a public health approach, one that centers survivors, addresses root causes, and builds long-term well-being. And in 2014, CAST received the first presidential award for extraordinary efforts to combat human trafficking and awarded to an NGO presented by President Obama. A proud Canadian and a coalition builder since her 20s, Kay has always believed that lasting change doesn't happen alone. She brings people together across communities, sectors, and systems because she knows that collective action is where real power lives. Please join me in welcoming a visionary leader, a fierce advocate, and a true coalition maker, Kay Buck.
Oh, I love that, a proud Canadian, that I am. Good morning, everyone. So let's have everyone stand up because it's really cold in here. Let's, get our muscles going for the walk. Thank you so much, Paris, for getting up early on a Saturday morning and joining us and emceeing this event. I'm really happy to share this moment with everyone. As you all know, it's an annual walk that we do. And isn't it great how students get up early again on a Saturday morning and get here? Like, it's before noon, everyone. So let's give all of the students a round of applause. It's pretty amazing. So I'm here to introduce our speakers, of which there are two. But before I do that, I want to remind everyone that tomorrow, actually, January 11th, is actual Human Trafficking Prevention Day. And so there are QR codes on posters throughout. Please scan them if you're interested in more information about Human Trafficking Prevention and Awareness Month and Prevention Day, which again is January 11th. We will have our 2025 impact report ready, I think, at midnight tonight. Not that you all should stay awake to read it, but when you get up tomorrow, please take a look at it, because it talks about how Los Angeles County is embracing and advancing a public health model to address human trafficking. So it's really exciting that LA County is doing such a stellar job and is providing such great leadership. So it is truly an honor for me to introduce someone who has been a steadfast, amazing, and incredible champion and partner for human rights, equity, and community care. LA County Supervisor Lindsay Horvath is a leader who understands that safety, dignity, and well-being are not privileges, they are rights. In her role as Los Angeles County Supervisor, she's consistently shown what it looks like to lead with courage, with compassion, and with accountability, especially for communities who are marginalized and oftentimes criminalized as well, which is why our public health model is so crucial. Supervisor Horvath has been a powerful partner to us at CAST and to so many coalition partners throughout LA County. She's advancing a public health approach to human trafficking, one that centers on prevention, housing, survivor-led solutions over punishment, and so much more. She shows up not just as a policymaker, but as a listener, and a good one, a really good listener, a collaborator, and a true advocate for systemic change. I'm also grateful to call Lindsay a friend for over 20 years. Her leadership reminds us that when government leads with humanity, real transformation is possible. So please give a huge round of applause to the most amazing supervisor ever, Lindsay Horvath.
You may be seated. That was a really kind introduction, Kay. Thank you very, very much. I can't tell you how at home I feel, given that this has been my faith home since coming to Los Angeles. And I can't resist saying that this part of the church is called the sanctuary. And I think it's worth acknowledging that in this moment, that especially with all that we're experiencing in our country and in our community, and all that we are fighting to represent today, a place of sanctuary, a safe space to come together, to let our voices be heard, to stand in solidarity with people who need us, who deserve our support, I think is really meaningful. And so even if this isn't traditionally a place for your faith tradition or your spirituality, please know that you are welcome here. This is a place that welcomes you, and we hope we will see you again here. I'm honored to join you all this morning for the Los Angeles Walk for Freedom, to raise awareness of the harm caused by human trafficking, and to reaffirm LA County's commitment to prevention and to real, lasting change. Thank you to the Coalition to Abolish Slavery and Trafficking. Thank you, Kay, and your wonderful team for your fearless and fabulous leadership. Thank you to SoCal Partners for Global Justice for putting this walk together year after year, and for always leading with survivor leadership, dignity, and care. And to everyone who's here today, thank you for showing up, because showing up matters, and people see you, and your presence transforms our community. We're here to say clearly and unapologetically, Los Angeles County will not stand for human trafficking in our communities. Over the last few years, Los Angeles County has advanced a public health approach to addressing human trafficking, emphasizing prevention, community-based response, and health equity rather than punitive actions. I want to be clear about what that means. It doesn't mean we don't want to hold accountable people who are contributing to this harmful cycle of violence. It means we are centering the well-being of people who are harmed by this cycle. We are centering their experience and leading with centering their experience. This approach applies to all human trafficking efforts, including our work to address the commercial sexual exploitation of children. And I believe that this shift from a system-based crisis response to a community-based preventative response will better serve all Angelenos impacted by both labor and sex trafficking. And we know that this work cannot be done alone. That's why Los Angeles County is strengthening how we coordinate this work through the Countywide Trafficking Leadership Council. Through a new county partnership, CAST will play a central role in leading countywide training and coordination efforts, helping to align our departments, community-based organizations, and lived experience experts around prevention, survivor-centered practice, and shared accountability. This is about building the infrastructure needed to prevent trafficking, not just to respond to it. Because effective prevention requires coordination, collaboration, and trust across systems and across communities. And we cannot do this if the people with lived expertise do not feel safe coming forward and sharing their experience. That is most critical. This work also cannot be done overnight. It requires long-term investment, sustained commitment, not just in January, not just around major events, but year-round with daily action and commitment in our communities and throughout Los Angeles County. Last month, I was part of a Los Angeles County delegation led by our CAST CEO and Durfee Foundation Stanton Fellow, Kay Buck. We traveled to New Zealand to explore their public health model. There, I met with survivors, with community leaders, with academics, with former and current members of Parliament, with Indigenous community members, with philanthropists, all of whom are deeply engaged in implementing this model. And I highlight that because we all have a role to play in this transformational work. They shared their lessons learned, they offered honest feedback on the real challenges that they've faced. It's not as if with a flip of the switch, once they decided they wanted to go to this model, things changed overnight. It requires continued focus and continued investment in this transformational model. While New Zealand is a country of 5 million, and we're a county of more than 10 million, I still was inspired by what I experienced, and I have confidence that we can continue strengthening our approach here in Los Angeles County, learning from their experience, but most importantly, as Kay highlighted, by listening to the experience of people. So on that note, I want to especially thank our survivors and our advocates who have continued to push our county forward. We all remain committed to this work, inspired by your example. And we are committed to ensuring that our responses center dignity, care, and services. Together, we can build a Los Angeles County where nobody is treated as disposable and no one is criminalized for surviving. On behalf of Los Angeles County, it is my honor to present a certificate to Kay Buck in recognition of your leadership, your partnership, and your unwavering commitment to survivors. And I want to thank CAST for the work that they do each and every day. Because, as I said, this work is not just highlighted in January or one day throughout the year. Sometimes we wear our ribbons, we show up, and then we go back to our normal lives. But let's take the spirit of this moment and what it feels like to be together in community and take it home with us, take it into our schools, into our places of work, into our places of worship. And remember that we all have a role to play in transforming our communities. And may this certificate to cast be a reminder of not our action not only today, but also the commitment that we all make every day. Thank you very much.
Wow, thank you so much. Got your notes? Thank you so much, Supervisor Horvath, for your leadership and your friendship. Really, folks, give Lindsay a round of applause. She's amazing. She is an amazing policymaker. Incredible. And we are going to change Los Angeles County together and how we approach this issue, and we're going to prevent it in our lifetime. So please get more involved with us after today's walk. I want to introduce now another woman of courage and my friend. Angela Guazon is a lived experience expert. She's a survivor of human trafficking. She's also a survivor leader, a survivor advocate. She likes to boss me around a lot as well, so that's helpful. She's a member of our survivor leadership network locally, which is called Resilient Voices. And one thing about Angela is that she always brings food to meetings. This is also good. But she brings so much wisdom and clarity and again, courage to all of our conversations about human trafficking, especially labor trafficking, which doesn't get a whole lot of attention in the media, and why we're highlighting this today. She reminds us that the people most impacted, survivors, must be at the center of solutions. This is not written here, but she also has been instrumental in raising millions of dollars throughout the state of California in order to have services in every corner of our state. 31 organizations, because of her advocacy and her partnership with us, now have funding for survivors to go to when they need help. And you'll hear more about that later with our call to action, because that funding is also up for renewal this year. So we have to make sure that Governor Newsom hears our voices today and moving forward, and make sure that those funds are in place. His budget came out yesterday, by the way. Angela's advocacy, not just in budgets, but in all types of public policy, research, and public and awareness understanding, is always grounded in dignity, agency, and the belief that survivors are the true leaders in this work. We are deeply grateful, up here, for Angela's voice and her leadership and her commitment to justice. Thanks so much.
Good morning, and I'm glad that I'm standing in front of you guys, sharing my story, and I hope you have a takeaway when you go home. And also thank you for getting up so early. Like Kay said, it's Saturday and it's freezing cold, but we're still here. Well, my name is Angela, and originally I'm from the Philippines, and I am a survivor of labor trafficking and a member of a survivor leadership program of CAST. We are a local group of survivors engaged in advocacy, peer-to-peer mentorship, prevention, and policy work. Right now, I work as an operation manager of a private medical group. And that's all because of the healing process that I had and the support that I got. I was trafficked in the healthcare industry here in suburb of LA. I was forced to work night and day, sleeping on the floor in the hallways, and given scraps to eat. I was threatened that we would be deported and put in jail if we tried to escape. If you came from the third world country, you know how that means if they tell you that you were gonna be in jail. I got help through a neighbor, like you guys that you're here, that you are very resilient. You're listening to us and very aware of your surrounding. And CAST provided me with case management, shelter, medical with my health and mental issues, and legal assistance to help me prosecute my trafficker. I have a positive experience with law enforcement, but I can tell you, most of my survivor group members didn't have a good experience like I had. Many survivors are criminalized before they are identified, and these records follow them for life. Survivors often face impossible choices. Many have no safe place to go, no money, and even fear being arrested. With these fears and lack of resources, most often survivors get re-exploited and re-traumatized. That's why shelters and wraparound services are so important. They give survivors real options and safety. And that's what I got from CAST and most of our survivor members. Trafficking is very different from the headlines or movies we watch. A lot of survivors in my group were trafficked by people they know, people from their own home country, like I am, or even their family members. That's why one-size-fits-all solutions don't work, and why survivor-informed services are essential. Survivors need to be heard and part of the solution. I remember when I was in the shelter and it was time for me to move out, I was so scared thinking, how am I gonna live alone there? The fear and so many questions that I have. I'm glad that I live in a CAST shelter and they provide me and support me with all those questions. I don't have family and friends here, but I found a family with my survivor group and the CAST staff, especially with Kay. Kay, she's a CEO, she's on the top, but she's always make sure that she check on us. And that helps me with my journey of healing. My survivor group turns into family, and most important are the organizations like CAST, and of course, the Catholic sisters that always support us, and we know that they're always behind us. Knowing I have support where I can turn when I needed to. Victims and survivors need more substantial, long-term support to stabilize our life and our healing journey, to become a productive member of this society. And that's why stable housing, legal support, and trauma-informed care are so important. And that requires long-term care, long-term and stable funding. Thank you for walking with us and the voice, especially for those who are still out there. Thank you for the support.
Thank you. Thank you, Supervisor Horvath. Thank you, Kay. Thank you, Angela, for continuing to use your voices and speak up on this issue. Let's give them another round of applause, please. All right, how you guys doing? How's it going? You good? Happy? Good? Awesome. All right, well, one of the reasons we're here today is to feel moved to move. In a moment, we'll move our feet, but we would also like to give you some other ways to advocate. Today, I bring attention to a critical matter that demands our immediate action. In California, we are witnessing a perilous situation where essential services for survivors are facing severe cuts. Last year, on September 30th, more than 100 federal grants expired. And with that, organizations like CAST didn't receive funds that sustain services as important as their 24/7 human trafficking hotline. It's a pretty important one. The first step to safety for many survivors of human trafficking. Today, I urge you to be a part of the solution. We are calling on Governor Gavin Newsom to maintain and extend the $17 million in funding for survivor services in his May revised budget. Funding that ensures survivors across California can access the support they need to escape harm, find safety, and begin healing. Without this funding, survivors may be left without critical services, no safe place to go, no support to recover, and no pathway forward. Here's how you can take action today. Call the governor's office and urge him to continue the $17 million investment in survivor services. You can also take a photo on today's walk and share it on social media. You can tag at CA Governor and call on California to maintain this essential funding so survivor services can continue statewide. So take some action today, guys. This simple action reaches far beyond today's walk. Together, our collective voices can be heard by those in power. Let us stand and united, amplify our message, and make it clear that California must prioritize survivors and ensure the continuity of the services that make safety and healing possible. So, yeah. I'm a little confused on how to do this still. So this is our first time trying this out, so just bear with us for a moment. So I'm gonna go off this. All right, me too. Okay, all right, cool. Sorry, we're a little nervous. Now let's shift our focus to the movement ahead. Melanie and I will take a couple minutes to practice chants and energize us into the streets.
And if you're joining us virtually, thank you so much for joining. We hope you'll take some virtual steps with us and share your experiences with all your friends.
Cool. Okay, well, let's... So sorry. Let's start with a classic. I'll call it out and you bring the energy. Okay, ready? Want to know what all the fuss is?
We're walking for dignity and justice.
Okay, great. Let's try that one more time. Just a little more energy. Want to know what all the fuss is?
We're walking for dignity and justice.
Great, beautiful. That was great. Okay, let's try another one. Stop human trafficking.
People are not for sale.
That was good. That was good. One more time, just for funsies. Stop human trafficking.
People are not for sale.
That was good. I'm feeling it. I'm feeling it from all of you. It's great. Okay. All right. Now we're going to split the crowd a little bit. Oh, sorry. My script is a little all over the place right now. I apologize. All right, go ahead.
All right. So for our third chant, no más trata.
No more trafficking.
One more time. No más trata.
No more trafficking.
Beautiful. Now let's see who we are and why we're here. Who are we?
A community in motion.
Why do we talk?
For wellness, dignity, and hope.
One more time. Who are we?
A community in motion.
Why do we talk?
For wellness, dignity, and hope. Alrighty, that's it. So we got it. When we return, we'll gather together under the alcove with the drummers and noisemakers for one final chant. The chant is simple, strong, and meant to be felt. We'll practice it once now, so it's ready when we come back. Come on over. Yes. Yeah, come on over, come up. Why not? Let's do it. Front and center.
Okay, so you'll hear the drums lead us, and we speak together saying freedom for all. Ready?
Free.
Right. I think so. Freedom for all. Freedom for all. Freedom for all. Freedom for all. Freedom Freedom for all. Come on, guys, let's go.
I can't hear you. You gotta be a little louder. There we go.
Freedom for all. There you go.
Freedom for all. Freedom for all. All right. Oh, there you go. There you go. All right, all right, all right.
Okay, so now hold those chants with you while you walk. I also would like to invite you to take a blue ribbon as you wave it while we walk. So let's take this energy into the streets and move together as a community in motion.
All righty. Should I say this last part right now?
Yeah, just like briefly.
I don't know. I feel like everyone's moving, so doesn't matter. We're fine. I think we're good.
That was it.
That was it.